Well, hello everyone. It is digital host AJ Wiest, and I want to welcome you all back to 48 Blitz OT. How is everyone doing tonight? Of course, the high school football playoffs here in the first round of the high school football playoffs here in the Yellowhammer State kicked off tonight, and we got some awesome games to talk about. 16 teams, 16 Tennessee Valley teams remain in the playoffs after the first round, and I am going to shout out the winners. It was certainly an exciting week, but we are going to start things off with 1A, and of course 48 Sports Director Carl Prather. He's going to be joining in momentarily. He'll have highlights. He'll have some exciting stuff for you all that I know you're just not going to want to miss. But like I said, let's kick it off with 1A. I got to shout out Hackleburg. They defeated Pickens County tonight 41-6. Big win there. Hackleburg is the last remaining Tennessee Valley team in the playoffs in 1A. Moving on to 2A, we have Pisgah. They defeated Aliceville tonight 50-28, and also Falkville. They defeated Lexington 16-6. So those two teams will be advancing to the next round. In 3A, we have Sylvania. They defeated Weaver 27-9. We also have Mars Hill Bible 69-40 over Midfield. Geraldine over Locust Fork 60-13, and also the Red Hot Machine that is the Fife Red Devils. They got the win last night. I believe that score was 60-33. Fife won big. They're going to the next round. Now in 4A, we have four teams here in the Tennessee Valley that remain: Madison Academy, West Morgan, Brooks, and Central Florence. Madison Academy over Hoax Bluff tonight, 28-7. West Morgan with a shutout win over Fayette County. They took the win 45-0. Brooks over Dora 38-7, and Central Florence with a crushing victory over Hamilton 70-13. Now we're going to move over to 5A. Boaz, the Pirates, got the win against Center Point. They won 29-8, and of course we got to talk about Scottsboro. They got the win over Jacksonville 49-13. In 6A, there are three teams remaining here in the Tennessee Valley. We have Muscle Shoals 52-7. They defeated Mortimer Jordan and Hartzell 64-7. Wow, what a crushing win. They defeated Minor tonight, and Fort Payne over Pell City with a 1-point victory. 24-23 was the final score there. And those are the remaining Tennessee Valley teams yet to continue their playoff journey. They'll be continuing their playoff journey next week in the second round of the high school football playoffs. But what an exciting time to be a football fan, to be a high school football fan. As soon as November hit, you just feel something in the air. You're like, yeah, this feels like postseason football right here. And there's just nothing like it. I remember back in the days when I played high school football. In my 4 years playing high school football, I never got to celebrate Thanksgiving with my fellow teammates, and that was always a goal. You always want to keep playing when Thanksgiving arrives. Unfortunately, I never got to have that experience, but I am hoping a lot of these North Alabama teams will certainly get to celebrate Thanksgiving with their teammates. That is for sure. But yes, if you are watching at home right now, who are your teams still in the playoffs? Who are your teams? Shout them out. Did they get the win tonight? That is what I want to know. And with that said, I am going to go ahead and send the push alert to the people watching on 48 now. But yeah, leave a comment if your team got the win tonight. Was it a good game? Was it one of the teams that I shouted out? Hopefully it was, because I shouted out all 16 teams that remain. But with that said, I think it is time I toss the ball over to 48's Carl Prather. You guys enjoy 48 Blitz OT.
You're watching 48 Blitz OT, sponsored by Alabama Concrete.
My man AJ Weiss had the football, had the old prop there, throwing it out there. I love it, man. Special shout out to our own AJ Weiss over in the CTV studios, getting you prepped and prepared for our 48 Blitz OT show, sponsored by Alabama Concrete. Want to send a big shout out to Alabama Concrete, joining us yet again and our team to provide amazing coverage for our 48 Blitz OT show for yet another season. Big shout out to Alabama Concrete and the good folks there for joining us for yet another season as we dive into the postseason. Folks, let's just get right to it. We came into tonight with 39 teams total heading into round one of the high school football playoffs from North Alabama. We had 208 teams in the state looking to survive and advance, as everyone in the Yellowhammer State looked to try to advance to round two. 39 of those teams were from us here in the Valley, North Alabama, Tennessee Valley. Let's head to the scoreboards because I want to show you some of the teams that survived, some of the teams that advanced. They're on your screen right now. Class 6A, Buckhorn falls to Oxford in 6A, 42-0. Their season's over. Fort Payne comes from behind to take care of Pell City. They went 24-23. Big shout out to Chris Elmore and company, Dax Vonador and everyone advancing to round two. Parker takes care of Coleman 35-0. Leeds comes from behind to take care of Gunnersville 35-28. Still a great year for Gunnersville. They were number one in the state for quite some time in Class 5A, but their season comes to an end in the first round. Lawrence County gave a valiant effort with Corner. Corner scored a couple of late touchdowns to come away with that win, 49-35. Ramsey, defending 5A state champs. No problems with Ardmore tonight, even though Ardmore won 8 games this year. Shout out to the Tigers and their program on a great year. Something to build on for sure. North Jackson won the region in Class 4A, Region 8, but their season comes to an end to the Valley Cubs of Alexandria, 35-21. Westminster and Louis LeBlanc's team falls to Cherokee County. Cherokee County, a state champion a year ago. Geraldine takes care of and gets by Locust Fort 60-13. Mars Hill Bible, Coach Daryl Higgins and company, no problems with Minfield. They put 69 on the board. Little basketball score right there, 69-40 over in the shows. Winfield takes care of Colbert County, ending their season 44-14. Gordo takes care of Rogers, 41-13. Big shout out to Rogers. Really made a nice comeback. Their program's back on the rise for sure over in the shows. Piedmont takes care of Collinsville. Tuscaloosa Academy in Class 2A takes care of North Sand Mountain, 42-6. Falkville beats Lexington. Here's why that's important. Obviously, you're still going to survive and advance, but Falkville hasn't beaten Lexington since 1972. Big shout out to Falkville. The Devils are headed to the second round of the high school football playoffs with that 16-6 victory. Southeastern all over Red Bay, 47-0. Lynn takes care of Cherokee with the shutout, 35-0. Hackleburg's been ranked in the top 10 all year in Class 1A. They get the victory as well, 41-6. We'll go over all of our teams that are going to head to round two momentarily. We do want to go and take you around all of our teams in Class 7A tonight. Also, after we finish the scoreboards here, I believe this is our final one, everybody in TNP. Yes, awesome. Thank you. Valleyhead falls to Wadley. Madison Academy really coming on as of late. Really struggling. Remember, this team, for those new to our area, state championship finalists a year ago, started the year 0-2, really bounced back quite nicely. They were a 4 seed coming into this playoffs in 4A. They get the victory on the road. They're going to be a dangerous out for any team in 4A. They win 28-7. Hartsel, no problems with Minor. They win a big way, 64-7. Central, Florence, Heathwood and company have had an awesome year. They take care of Hamilton, 70-13. And ARAP season comes to an end, 49-7. Okay, to our 7-8 teams. A lot of our teams in our area, we have 8 of them out of 32 within the state. So for those that are new to North Alabama or to the area, Class 7A in our state is our highest classification of high school football. And basically all that means is there are the 32 programs with the largest enrollments per high school, right? So that's why we have our Class 7A. So our 7A teams are in Region 4. So we have 8 of those teams, and they crossed over with another region within the state to produce the first round matchups. Our region winner this year was the Black Bears of Austin. Fantastic year for Coach Jeremy Perkins and company tonight. They were at home. They were hosting Enterprise tonight. Road team would score first. Auburn Tigers, yes, Auburn Tigers in the SEC commit. Eric Winters would call his own number for the score. Wildcats led 7-0 early. Enterprise would actually jump out to a 14-0 lead. Give credit to Austin's defense, forcing a big play and a turnover right there. That ball was loose, and Austin's Jamari Vincent with the recovery, putting the Black Bears in business. Gavin Fuquay will get a couple of runs down on their side of the football field. Just couldn't punch it in and would have a 3-and-out there. Wasn't able to produce any points with that. Made it a game late, but Enterprise would pull away, and they would get the win 32-21. Staying in Class 7A, the Jets of James Clemens was our 2 seed tonight at Madison City School Stadium. They welcome in the power known as Central Phoenix City, 4th-ranked team in the state all year this year, and this was a back-and-forth game there. Cam Berry with that haul in there. That would set up Jacoby Gill for the punch in for 6. And this is a 4th and go. Listen, you got to be aggressive, right? In the playoffs, you're trying to survive and advance by any means possible. JC has it again and is selling for 3, but not so fast. We got a little more trickeration there. Kicker Ortiz is going to scat in for the TD. So JC would make it a game early, but man, Central Phoenix City really came on in the second quarter, and they would get the win in a big way, 70-14. So congratulations to those respective teams from Enterprise, Central Phoenix City. Unfortunately, the year's come to an end for Austin and James Clemens. Still, nonetheless, a great year for those two teams as they end their respective seasons in the first round. We continue our 7A playoff action. Bob Jones on the road tonight facing the Auburn Tigers. The first possession of this game, Auburn's defense really showed up and showed up very, very well. 3rd down stop, going to give the ball to the Tigers after Bob Jones would go ahead and punt the football to the offense. And literally on Auburn's 3rd offensive possession, 41 yards out, he's out the gate. Auburn, that's on the board. Bob Jones' season comes to an end on the road, 63-27. Our final team in Class 7A looking to find a way to survive and advance. It was the Florence Falcons. They were taking, an Opelika, the Bulldogs, power in our state as well. They were a 6A team at one time, many years ago, but now made the jump up to 7A. Just a little too much Opelika in this contest. You see that block punt there on special teams. Unfortunately, Opelika ends the year for Florence 43-7. So with that, all of our 7A football teams out of the playoffs. I believe the last time a 7A team from North Alabama won a first-round playoff game, you had to go back to 2019. And prior to that, you had to go back to 2016 before we had a winner in 7A. So we shall see if we can get back at it next season in the 2025 year and see if the respective 7A teams in our area can make respective deep runs in the playoff in Class 7A. So I got this piece of paper here. I mentioned that we came into this weekend or this Friday with 39 teams that came into the playoffs in the first round. Folks, we're down to 16 teams. I'm just going to name them off to you before we wrap up this show. The Fife Red Devils actually played their game on Thursday night at the Class 3A level. They took on Ohatchee. They got the victory there, so Fife will advance. Hackleburg in Class 1A, they were on our scoreboard. They advance. Pisgah and Falkville from Class 2A. They continue to play high school football next week. Sylvania, Mars Hill Bible, and Geraldine all advancing at the Class 3A level tonight. In Class 4A, Central Florence. Brooks takes care of Dora tonight, so they're advancing. West Morgan and Madison Academy. So 4 teams in Class 4A still alive within the playoffs. In Class 5A, just 2. Scottsboro and Boaz. Both of those 2 respective teams continue their respective seasons next week in round 2 at the 5A level. And in Class 6A, only 3 teams left. Hartselle, Fort Payne, and Muscle Shoals. So 16 teams. Let me make sure I count these right. Carl's math may not be the best. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yep, 16 teams left from 39. So as you could imagine, that's the name of the game in the playoffs. You get in, you're just trying to survive. And you're just trying to continue to keep on keeping on, and hopefully, fingers crossed, and with great play on the gridiron, you find a way to advance to the Super 7 championships December 4th, 5th, and 6th this year. The Super 7 championships from Class 1A through 7A will be held down in Birmingham at Protective Stadium. So we have 16 more cracks at it to see what teams will survive and advance to the quarterfinals in 2 weeks as they prepare for their respective round 2 games. That's going to do it for our 48 Blitz OT show, folks. Plenty more football to come next week. Will more than likely be our final show next week as we really trim down our teams after next Friday. So very excited to be able to do that. Very excited to be with you one more week. And our sponsor, Alabama Concrete, who's done an outstanding job joining us for yet another year as well. All right, let's get a shot of the Starship Enterprise in there. There we go. There we go. Hey, there we go. Everybody wave. There's Katie Rainwater on your right corner there. She's driving us to Pluto somewhere probably. And you got Clark Simcox. He was like, no, we don't want to go to Pluto. We're going to go to Saturn. And he was like, okay, we'll do that. And then Tyler down in the back right corner there, he was like, no, let's go to Mars. And then on the left side there, you have Paul Marlane. He was like, is that Paul over there? Who is that? That's Paul. Yeah. Yeah. And then Paul was like, nah, we'll just drive to the sun. So there's that. They have been outstanding. Truly appreciate them more than they could ever imagine. They do a lot of work behind the scenes and kind of like herd cats, i.e. me, to get in the proper places and where I need to go, what I need to do, and screaming at me to get out on the set because I'm not on the set. So really, truly appreciate everyone there in our TMP Center. Truly appreciate all of our photographers, our videographers, our reporters, our news reporters help out so much throughout the high school football season as well. So once again, just truly appreciative because we all do this for our community. It's all about serving you, North Alabama, our student athletes, our cheerleaders, our band, our fans, everyone at all of these amazing communities across the valley and beyond. Truly appreciate bringing you high school football each and every Friday night. This has been a long season. We started in August. We're now in November and heading into the second Friday in November, and we're down to just 16 teams left before we head to round 3 and see who will make the trek and make one step closer to state football. In the Super 7 championships in December. That's going to do it for us tonight. Listen, enjoy the college football games. Big game down in Baton Rouge, Alabama on the road against LSU. Alabama A&M in action. North Alabama in action. Ton of SEC games in action. Just enjoy it. Enjoy it. Kick back. Watch the NFL as well. And we will have you prepared for our 48 Blitz show, final 48 Blitz show next Friday, along with our final 48 Blitz OT show as well. So we're super excited. We hope you're excited. We hope all of our 16 teams still alive excited as well. For everyone in TMP, we'd like to thank you again. Good night, everyone. We'll see you back next Friday. Wave, everybody in TMP. Good night, everyone.